Okay, and it says we are live. So, all right. So here we are at the Empathy Show. We're excited about what we have lined up for you guys today. And we wanted to hit that topic. What is empathy in exhibits? What kinds of exhibits focus on empathy, and how can we in the museum exhibit design world focus on that? So we have a fantastic group of special guests here today. I'd like to introduce them one by one. First here to my right is Brianna Cutts. Let's get a little sign up there.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. All right. So Brianna is creative director of the Sibbett group, specializing in connecting with visitors of all ages with history and the natural world. She's a designer and thinker who's pushing the boundaries in design theory and practice. And her experience spans from prototype development at the Exploratorium for the Frogs exhibit to leading teams as an environments designer at the renowned design firm IDEO. Brianna also teaches graduate level exhibit design at JFK University. So another round of applause for Brianna. And Anne. So Anne, my next guest, is doing amazing things at the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. Not only does she design all of the exhibits at the museum, she's taking that vision out into the community, design schools, libraries, and hospitals. And if that weren't enough, she just started teaching at Carnegie Mellon University. What can't she do? Let's give it up for Anne Fullenkamp. All right, and down at the end we have Nina Silver.
Oh, hi.
Yes. Right. Hey Nina, good to have you here with us.
Thanks, Brad.
All right. So as many of you may have seen some of Nina's work at the Noah's Ark exhibit at the Skirball Cultural Center, where content focuses on topics including cultural understanding, celebrating differences, and overcoming adversity. In addition to being head of Noah's Ark, Nina is a longtime actor and puppeteer who has created award-winning theater at places such as Getty Villa, South Coast Repertory, the Pasadena Playhouse, and many more. Bringing people together to share stories in eye-opening ways is a passion and priority in her life. So let's hear it for Nina. All right. Okay, and let's cut our little music intro here and get that out of the way. Okay, so the thought is, what is empathy in the context of exhibits? And so are we ready to dive into that?
Yeah.
All right. So Brianna, you've done a lot of thinking about this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the topic of empathy in exhibit design?
All right.
I'll get your slides queued up here.
That's the sign. Okay. This okay? Audio? Great. Well, I like to get geeky about topics. And so for the last 18 months, I've been getting geeky about empathy. And so I've given a few talks about it. And for this one, what I discovered is that I've come upon a thesis, and I want to run it by you. We've kind of discussed it, but basically, I feel like when we think about empathy in exhibits, I think the equation is curiosity. And so I want to try to sell that in this talk show to see if it stands up. So what I think about exhibits is at their core, they're all about piquing interest and stimulating curiosity. Like that's what we're doing. And basically for curiosity, the definition is a strong desire to know or learn something and inquisitive interest in others' concerns. And I just want us to kind of hold on to the word we on that one. So I really think there's a path from exhibits to curiosity to empathy. And so that's what I'm going to try to tee up today to see if it holds up. So when we think about empathy, it's the feeling that you understand and share another person's experiences and emotions and the ability to share someone else's feelings. What I found is that empathy has been on the decline since 1979. There are lots of reasons why, but the biggest thing is in the last decade has been the steepest decline. And so this is based on the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research. If you just Google them, you'll read articles. There are other universities researching empathy. And so some of the causes that I've found are, we're all in information overload, right? And there's this sort of numbing and desensitizing, I'm not gonna be able to say that this morning, I've had too much coffee, desensitizing to information. We've also heard, of course, with social media, there's the sort of the narcissism factor, the me. And then the whole idea that we look down now. We're really distracted and disconnected. And there's been research that when we have dinner with a good friend or family member, if we have our phone on the table with us, we're kind of not there. So it's really interesting, and there's a lot going on there. But so it's on a decline, but the good news is it's innate, right? So when we've researched infants, we know that there's this capacity to take care of others. But, dun, da, 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 we get independent thinking. And we start arguing about things, right? It's my way. No, it's my way. Is it a 6? Is it a 9? And I also think the other thing is that there's fierce competition around resources. And I think we're all sort of seeing that now around the world, but this is at Target, right? The Lilly Pulitzer line was released a couple years ago, and there were literally like fights at Target, and people were stealing things out of each other's carts. So there was zero empathy because everybody wanted affordable Lilly Pulitzer. So what I think is happening is our innate empathy is being eclipsed by a lot of factors. And when we think about our brains, and I've done a lot of thinking about our brains, but really what's going on is we all know we have a right and a left hemisphere. And so our right is more holistic and our left is more linear. And so really, our right brain is where our empathy lives. Our left brain is where our survival lives, right? So that whole idea that, hey, you know, I need this, it's survival. So it's natural for us to have these feelings. And the other thing I want to tee up, because I think it has to do with exhibits, is our right brain is where we process images and our left brain is where we process words. So I'm wearing pink today because the color of empathy is actually pink. And the idea is that it's nurturing, and if you look at the color theory around it, that's something. And so I hope that when we get to talking about color, we can sort of think about that a little bit more. But all of us are here because we're excited about inspiring young kids, right? So their brains are very different from our brains. And the key difference here is that because they're mainly right-brained at a young age, that's where they really process images. And so how does this apply to exhibits? Again, exhibits are this way to merge these two worlds, the process and the images. So we have this opportunity to really merge the visual and the literate. And I also think that's our connection with empathy and curiosity. And so, again, going back to that curiosity piece, a strong desire to know or learn something, it's being inquisitive about others. That's where I think the curiosity piece is coming. And when we think about empathy, what's happening is that it's all about me versus we. And so, again, thinking about that, and I know we're going to talk about it more and how some other folks have done it, but let's see if oh, I think I might have done a couple slides there. But let's see, the idea, and I know we're going to do an activity about this, but it's practicing curiosity, because when we think about how to practice empathy, does anybody really know how to practice empathy? Like if we say, hey, practice empathy right now, what would that look like? But if I said practice curiosity, would that be a little bit easier? Oh, I know, the hug, or wear pink, right? But so it's this innate curiosity about others and topics. And so what I want to do is turn it over to Anne, because I think she's going to talk about.
I think we have a little.
Yeah, oh, and we have an activity, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a share pair, which is all about curiosity.
If there's a quick question or so for Brianna before we go on to our activity, any quick questions or thoughts?
Or poke holes in my theory. Empathy and curiosity.
Well, let's practice. Should we
Okay.
practice? So everybody close your eyes and think about the time, or a recent accomplishment. A recent accomplishment that makes you feel proud of yourself, proud of something that you've done. As you tell that story to yourself, pull out a few key images from your story. Maybe it was at your workplace, maybe it was at your home. Think of the people who were involved in that recent accomplishment. Maybe it was just you. Once you have that story in your head, you can open your eyes. And now we're going to do a little share pair. So turn to somebody near you. And the way that we are going to practice this is we'll put a little bit of time on the clock. You turn to someone near you, you tell a little version of your story. And then they're going to, when I say it's time to share back, they're going to mirror that story back to you. So this is literally 60 seconds of sharing that anecdote, and then 15 seconds of mirroring it back. So I know it's hard to kind of get into twos, so if you want, try to get into twos, and then if there's a 3, that's totally fine.
The camera
I'm just going
Wow. Amazing.
All right.
All right. You can share your story starting now.
And if you're watching us remotely, you're welcome to write down your own thoughts about something, your own thoughts about either you might have observed. So we'll be here for a couple of more minutes, and we'll continue with the show.
Where you want to live? Yeah, you know, what exactly do like empathy. Oh yeah. So
This is a one-way story, just starting with person A.
or we can say like, get your empathy show us here. Do you want to share some
Start wrapping up your story.